What I really want to do, Mr. President, is do something that I think is probably the best highlight of Thursday speeches in the Senate. I think the pages all certainly agree. They're all nodding for people watching across America. It's the Alaskan of the Week. Now, Mr. President, this is a great tradition I've been doing for many, many years. I try to get down here on the Senate floor Thursday, wrapping up, not every week, but a lot of weeks. And I like to talk about an Alaskan who's doing something really important for our state, community, maybe the country, maybe the world, and then talk a little bit about what's going on back home. So I'm going to do that. But we also had another neat tradition today here in the Senate. Our Thursday lunch group in the Senate, on the Republican side, one senator hosts lunch for his colleagues, his or her colleagues, and talks a little bit about their home state. Today was my opportunity to host, and you know, I'm not bragging, but I do think when Senator Murkowski and I, and by the way, Senator Collins with Maine Lobster, but when Senator Murkowski and I host, we get good attendance because we have great seafood. Fresh halibut, fresh salmon. We did that. I did that again today. It was great. The whole room was decorated with Alaskan perfect peonies. We got great peonies in Alaska too. Holy cow. So this is a perfect time for the Alaskan of the Week. First, I want to give a little snapshot of what's going on back home, what life is like in Alaska right now. The midnight sun is out. A few weeks ago, I was in Fairbanks, the home of Mary Binkley, who is our Alaskan of the Week. We're going to talk a lot about Mary. And we had our famous midnight sun baseball game, Mr. President. Thousands of baseball fans across the world literally come to see this game, which started in 1906. Some miners, some military guys came together for a baseball game in 1906. It's going strong. More than 100 years later, this year, the Fairbanks Gold Panthers played the Glacier Pilots, an Anchorage baseball team that is part of the Alaska Baseball Summer League. Now, this is one of the premier collegiate summer baseball leagues in the country. It's something a lot of people don't know about. I was talking a little bit about at our lunch today, but great college players come to Alaska to play baseball under the midnight sun, and so many of them have gone in to do great things. So many of them have not only gone on to the majors, so many of them have gone on to the Baseball Hall of Fame and have been some of America's greatest players. Think about it. All these guys came up to Alaska to play summer baseball. Mark McGuire, Barry Bonds, Tom Seaver, Dave Winfield, Randy Johnson, Andy Messersmith. I mean, this is Hall of Fame baseball. And we get that in Alaska. It's really a great league. So if you're a baseball fan, make sure you come up to Fairbanks for next year's game. We were also in Fairbanks a couple weeks ago. I had the opportunity to run the Midnight Sun Run 10K. It's a great run. Again, people from all over the world. We had 4,000 runners this year. I do it every year. Definitely getting slower, but it is one fun, a 10K. It's great. So come on up if you're a racer. You'll love that one too. So while you're in Fairbanks, if you come up for a game or the 10K, make sure you get out on Fairbanks' beautiful rivers, the lifeblood of the community. When you do so on a sunny summer day on the Chena River or Tanana, chances are you'll spot a vintage-style stern wheel paddle boat belonging to Riverboat Discovery, gliding along the channel, carrying passengers through one of the most scenic river routes in Alaska, really in the world. And if you're one of those lucky passengers, there's a good chance you will catch sight of a familiar figure waving from the shore, and that is 99-year-old Mary Binkley, co-founder of Riverboat Discovery and our Alaskan of the Week. So let's dive into the Alaska institution that is Riverboat Discovery. This year, we will celebrate, the Binkley family will celebrate, the 75th anniversary of this incredible institution. Now, it's made up of 3 iconic paddle boats, Discovery 1, Discovery 2, and 3. Riverboat Discovery shows off the best of Alaska's interior landscape, including a bush plane demonstration, a visit to a recreated Athabascan native village, and learning about traditional subsistence lifestyles. For tourists, it's a 3-hour snapshot of Alaskan history. For locals, it is a beloved institution and a summer job for many young Fairbanksans, including my sister-in-law Janine many, many years ago, who worked for the Riverboat Discovery. And while the Riverboat Discovery preserves the history of the interior, the Binkley family, who has owned and operated Riverboat Discovery, Mr. President, for 75 years, has its own great history of Alaskan grit and innovation and hospitality and generosity. And the center of that history and that great family, the Binkleys, is Mary Binkley, our Alaskan of the Week. She was born in Vernonia, Oregon, in 1926, the youngest of 6 children. You know, that's a tough time in our country's history. Mary's story began in hardship. Her mother passed away soon after birth. Her father, a logger, couldn't raise the children alone. Her siblings were scattered, but they were bonded for life. Her brothers, who went on to become fishermen off the coast of rugged Kodiak, Alaska, rugged but beautiful Kodiak, Alaska, wanted something for their baby sister, Mary. They scraped together a college scholarship fund, determined that Mary would be the first in the family to attend college. Isn't that great? Brothers taking care of the little sister. And so Mary, from Oregon, journeyed north to the University of Alaska Fairbanks, where she had a cousin who was a professor there. And it was at UAF, as we call it, in Alaska, that she met a young, handsome riverboat captain named Jim Binkley, a 3rd-generation steamboater from Wrangell, Alaska. They married back in Mary's home state of Oregon in 1946, but quickly returned to Fairbanks that same year with nothing more than a $4,000 loan and a dream. Jim and Mary purchased their first vessel, the Godspeed, and began a river cruise business that would become synonymous with Fairbanks tourism and the interior Alaska river culture. Mary greeted every guest personally, often serving as a tour guide, a deckhand, and a hospitality manager all in one. To her, they weren't just tourists, they were her guests. She worked alongside her husband, Jim, the captain, in the popularity in Alaska, in America, of this riverboat cruise on one of Fairbanks' great rivers grew and kept growing. By 1955, the Godspeed could no longer keep up with the demand, so Jim built the Discovery 1 in his backyard with Mary by his side. Jim called her his, quote, lifeline and anchor. Mary did it all. First mate, deckhand, ticket taker, mother of 4 kids, who, by the way, Mr. President, have grown up to be pillars of the Alaska community in so many ways. I could do whole speeches on the Binkley kids. And later, she was a grandmother while watching 3 generations of Binkleys get involved in this great family business, and they've expanded into other things really important to Alaska. Taking tickets with Mary remains a rite of passage for Binkley grandchildren to this day. As the tour company expanded, Mary remained its heart, greeting travelers on the riverbanks, hiring Alaska Native guides to share their knowledge and traditions of Native Athabascan life during Chena Village visits, and helping craft that Alaskan hospitality that guests feel to this day. My grandmother has the ability to make meaningful connections with perfect strangers. Her granddaughter, Kai, recently said, quote, she treats them not like tourists, but more like family. That's Mary. Everybody who meets her thinks she's incredible. So, Mr. President, this fleet, the Binkley fleet, would grow, continue to grow, to Discovery 2, launched in 1971, which was a converted freighter. Then Discovery 3 in 1987, a grand 900-passenger vessel launched fittingly on the 4th of July in Fairbanks. That day, as the boat pulled away from the dock, generations of Binkleys waved from the deck. Waving from the shore was Mary, and she's still waving from that same Fairbanks riverbank at 99 years young. So, Mr. President, what began in 1950 as a modest river tour on a converted missionary boat has grown into the cornerstone of Fairbanks' tourism economy. And Mary has been at the center of it all, welcoming guests, sharing the experience, and setting a tone of genuine hospitality that endures to this day. At 99 years old, 99 years young, Mary is still part of the fabric of the business. Waving from the riverbank is Discovery Bend. Discovery 3 rounds the river bend. This weekend, Mr. President, the Binkley family will gather together to celebrate 75 years of operation, but more importantly, 75 years of a family legacy with Mary at the front and center. More than 500 family members and friends and guests from across America, from across Alaska, will join Mary at Steamboat Landing this Saturday for a nighttime cruise on the Discovery 3, which will be a fitting celebration for this incredible woman, an incredible family behind an Alaskan institution. So, congratulations, Riverboat Discovery, to 75 years, and to Mary, congratulations on one of the most prestigious awards you can ever receive, the Alaskan of the Week from the U.S. Senate. I yield the floor.